Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Murat Guvenc. I'm Managing Director of BeamSec, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all to today's Cyber Circle Roundtable. Today's discussion, if AI makes the decision, who is responsible, in my opinion, comes at an essential moment as we are moving beyond AI that responds to AI that acts. Please join me in welcoming an outstanding group of esteemed speakers: Rupa Singh, author and founder of AI Beehive; Ventura, founder of AI and Cybersecurity Association; and Hemang Dave, Chief Innovation and Transformation Executive from Kyndryl. Let's start with a quick introduction from our panelists. In any particular order?
I would say ladies first.
Sure. Rupa, Lisa, do you want to do a quick introduction about yourself, about your company?
Sure. Let me start with that. I help organizations and consultants, especially GRC professionals, become ethics and risk consultants with a 5-way framework that I have devised. And we are the leading organization in India for helping professionals become ethics consultant, as well as I'm author of 2 globally recognized book, and ethics with Buddhist perspective and operationalizing ethics, and have been invited by government of 3 countries, including represented India at BRICS Ethics Forum in Russia, by King of Morocco in Barkane, and also by South Korea. And I'm on the mission to help more than 1 million professionals become AI ethics consultant and build AI for human dignity. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rupa.
Thank you. I don't mind going next. So my name's Lisa. I'm the founder of the AI and Cybersecurity Association, which I set up to focus on the safe, secure, responsible, and ethical use of AI, and also to work at the intersection of AI and cybersecurity. I'm also the author of a book on AI and cyber, which has been published through Coding Page, and also work with organizations as well on their cybersecurity awareness and training posture, to train their staff to be a lot more cyber aware and what to look out for in terms of online safety. So that's me.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right. I guess that brings me. I'm Hemang Dave. I work for Kyndryl. I'm privileged to be serving customers in the US. As many of you know, Kyndryl is the largest services provider in the world. We operate across the globe with 75,000 strong employees. Great to be here. I'm going to keep my personal introduction at minimum. You can always follow me on LinkedIn and get all the background on me as much as you want. So I'll just stop at that.
Perfect. Thanks, Hemang. So let's dive in with the hard question that sits at the heart of every AI deployment decision. Where should we draw the line between AI making decisions and humans making decisions, and why? Hemang, do you want to tackle on that question?
I sure can. So as a good consultant would say, it depends. But in reality, we're still working through the experimentation phase. The way I look at it is that we should look at use case and situation and then say which one is a better fit, human or AI. So let me give you a quick example. For example, if you are a car geek like I am, and if you know the anti-lock braking system in the car, it's all automated and driven through computer. Because the speed matters and the action matters real quick. Humans are not equipped to do that. So when you need agility to go and make a decision, machines are better. But then also humans always play a very important role. So for example, if you're thinking about medical decisions or various other things where human safety, human life is at risk, obviously you want humans in there. But in general, I would just say that it's not either or. In many cases, one takes a primary role, other one takes a secondary role. In other words, AI or automation or machines take primary role. human takes a secondary role, or vice versa. So it will depend on the use case you look at. And obviously, this field is so evolving and so dynamic. So as we start understanding all the situations better, we come up with the right level of who makes the decision.
Absolutely. It depends, Hemang, as you rightly said. But I believe there are some decisions should never be delegated to machines. Lisa, do you have any opinion on that?
Absolutely. So for me, anything that touches on human dignity, life, liberty, or that causes irreversible harm. Some examples here. So in recruitment, for example, hiring and firing without that human oversight, medical treatment, that's absolutely critical that human oversight is involved in that. Justice and sentencing in the legal world, the use of force and cutting somebody off from an essential service. Now, AI, I believe, can absolutely inform those decisions and make humans faster and better informed, but it should never be the one that presses the final button and make the decisions on any of those. And human beings, we're always about, efficiency. How can we do something, quicker, faster, better, etc.? And a machine can sift through, for example, hundreds of job applications or flag lots of different transactions faster than any team can. But do not remove the people from those processes to make sure that a human still owns the moment where a decision changes someone's life. Human in the loop is absolutely critical in all of this.
So, Murat, if I may underscore,
Sure.
what Lisa said really resonates with me, right? When human dignity is involved. Lisa, if you don't mind, I will be stealing your line because that really resonates with me, right? Along with irreversible harm. So great points there.
Thank you.
Very good. So we hear human oversight cited constantly in regulation, in governance framework, in board presentation. In this section, I would like to discuss what oversight means when the speed and the complexity of AI really outpace human cognition. So, Rupa, I would like to ask you that question. Is human oversight a safeguard or just an illusion?
That's a great question, Murat, and I would also, build upon what Mr. Hemang and Lisa said, that human in the loop, as well as the dynamic nature of AI systems and the complexity of the growing complexity of AI systems. Now, modern AI systems are no longer simple rule-based programs. And today, if we look at LLMs and deep neural networks, an autonomous system processes billions of parameters and learn patterns that even creators often cannot fully explain. So as AI systems become even more faster, adaptive, and autonomous, meaningful oversight, human oversight, becomes increasingly difficult. And one of the greatest risks in AI governance is what we call the oversight illusion, where an organization claims that humans approve every AI decision, but in reality, employees trust the AI recommendation, decisions are made under time pressure, and humans become passive validators rather than active supervisors. And that is automation bias that we see. And one of the proposed solution is explainable AI, where in highly complex AI systems, explanations may still be too difficult for decision makers to understand, though explainability improves oversight, but it does not completely solve the problem. So instead of monitoring every decisions, humans may need to oversee system objectives, training data quality, risk threshold, governance controls, and escalation mechanisms and auditing processes. So by oversight, we mean understanding and reviewing every AI decision that if we mean over if the oversight, we mean understanding and reviewing every AI decision. That vision is becoming increasingly unrealistic. But if oversight means designing trustworthy systems, establishing governance mechanisms, maintaining accountability, and ensuring alignment with human values, then oversight is not only possible, but it is more important than ever.
Yeah, indeed, it's a very good point. But on the other token, again, AI is going faster. Even the news I was reading yesterday, some of the big LLM vendor, they let 85% of their code is written by AI. So it's kind of scary. But in that respect, Lisa, I'd like to ask you, like, do you really believe that humans or human oversight can keep up with AI?
Not at the speed and the scale that a lot of these systems now run on, and not with the way that a lot of organizations have set it up. So no human can review millions of decisions a second. For me, the fix is not faster humans, it's better design. Surface the decisions that genuinely need a person, build in friction, kill switches and audit trails, and stop thinking that continuous human attention is something that we can just simply switch on. And I think for me as well, this is where security and AI governance can come together really well, because we already accept that we can't manually watch every event on a network. So we build detection, alerting, and response around all the things that really matter. And for me, AI oversight needs that same mindset and that same focused human attention on the decisions that carry, critical rate, rather than just that thin layer that's spread across everything.
It's very true. So
Yeah.
I never come across any organization, arguing against human oversight. But I would like to really ask you that question, Emma, pragmatically. If you look at the organization, how far are they actually implementing it?
So let me actually go back to what Lisa stated, right? So human oversight in general, if we think that if you're going to look at millions of points, data points and decisions point, we are kind of kidding ourselves. So it starts with the design. So AI models, agents, whatever you want to have in the environment, ensure that design is such a way so when that agent or AI model is introduced, you can confidently answer the question that, is this doing something what it is supposed to be doing? Or if it was designed to be doing. And if we cannot answer that question, then we should not be deploying that, right? Because then the oversight or controlling of the environment becomes extremely difficult. So now, having said that, to Lisa's point, kill switches, so if something is going wrong, can you just stop it on its track? The other thing is that, you can write other AI agents or other things which can help humans provide better oversight, right? So to Lisa's point, the way we look at networking events in the environment, there is a lot of instrumentation. We can do something very similar with AI, and then also start thinking integrity, not just the access and entitlement. Just because your AI model has access to data or your agent has access to certain tool sets, don't think, just traditional way of, just because something has access, they can do anything they want in the environment. It should be intent-based implementation and make sure that true revisions and true reviews take place throughout the life cycle.
Very true. So we all know AI systems will fail. They already do, indeed, now, through bias, through hallucination, through misapplication, or through adversarial manipulation. I think the question we haven't answered well, legally or organizationally, is who carries responsibility when that failure happens? So, Rupa, I just want to give back the microphone to you. If an AI system fails or causes harm, who should be accountable?
Thank you, Murat, for bringing this question. And as you rightly mentioned that we need to assume that AI system will eventually fail because of the very basic nature of AI as an undeterministic, probabilistic nature, as well as the black box systems. But if we look at, and this is a very important, question that we are considering, that is becoming increasingly important as AI moves from making recommendations to making decisions. That who should be accountable? Is it developer, the company deploying it, or the manager overseeing it? And this reminds me of something we have always struggled with long before AI. Whenever something goes wrong in organizations, the first instinct is to often ask who's to blame. But maybe that's not the right starting point. The better question should be who had the responsibility, authority, and ability to prevent the harm. Because accountability without empowerment is unfair. And in many organizations today, that we see that we are putting humans in loop and calling it oversight. And let's be honest, if the humans doesn't understand the AI system, if they do not have the authority to stop it, and if they are not trained to challenge it, then they are not really, then are they really overseeing it? Or are they just becoming the person we blame when something goes wrong? So now imagine we are driving a brand new diesel car. The company promises low emissions, regulators approve it, engineers certify it, executives celebrate. Everything appears compliant, but one day the vehicle was never, you find out that the vehicle was never truly compliant, and the software had been programmed to recognize when it is being tested, uh, and temporarily reduce emission. That we see that in the Volkswagen emission scandal as sandbagging. And what made the scandal fascinating wasn't the mere deception, it was the accountability crisis that followed. That who was responsible, the engineer, the manager, executive, or the organization itself. And the deeper investigators looked, the more responsibility seemed to disperse across layers of hierarchy, technology, committees, and incentives. And nobody appeared solely responsible, yet everybody had contributed. So when today, as AI system becomes embedded into critical decisions about healthcare, employment, policing, finance, we are witnessing the emergence of a very similar challenge, that who should be accountable. And because accountability is not about finding a scapegoat after harm occurs, it is about creating ownership, oversight, and governance before harm occurs. Thank you.
So how to fix that problem? Do we need new roles like AI risk officers, Hemang, or?
Yes. So that, by the way, Rupa said something which is very profound. You cannot hold somebody accountable if you have never empowered them to do things, right? So, but now as we get into a lot more complex and dynamic environment with AI, because the data sets are very large, AI needs highly complex data sets for it to provide right sets of decisions. Now, if you look at from an organization perspective, yeah, you can call that position AI risk officer, but the fact is that this is multifaceted problem, right? So AI will ingest data, but then also throughout the life cycle, AI is also not only ingesting but manipulating data and then sometimes writing back to the data as well. Then you think about security into the environment. So my recommendation is multifold. One is that that person, maybe it's not just one person, it's a combination of multiple people along with the technology itself. So the person should have good understanding of data science. Person should also have good understanding of security, integrity, along with, and then no human has the capability to just go look at this vast amount of landscape. So let's create level of other AI which help and guide humans to look and provide oversight for the right way and the right decision making. So I don't think it's just only one human or just one type of role. It's multifaceted role, and it could be a combination of multiple humans along with humans and machines themselves.
Very well. So we discussed AI systems will fail. Maybe they will fail miserably. It will cause harm that nobody anticipated. We are talking about the people, roles, accountability. But the current legal or the governance frameworks have an answer at all? Lisa, do you see any gap in that area?
Partly, and to be honest, not that well. So negligence, product liability, and data protection law, they can all catch some of it, but they're written for systems that behave predictably. And for me, those novel emergent failures fall straight through the gaps. So the EU AI Act and standards like ISO 42001, they're starting to close them. But a lot of governance that I'm seeing is still largely and mostly reactive. We tend to keep writing the rule after the harm has already landed. So what really worries me about all this is the pace of it all. The law moves in years, yet AI capability moves in some cases in days, months. It's so fast. So the gap for me is widening rather than closing. And I think until it catches up, organizations can't wait to be told what good looks like. They'll have to look to set their own standards and be ready to defend them.
Very good. I appreciate it. I would like to close the panel with the last section on responsible AI. So organizations across every sector are deploying AI faster than their governance controls, their skill set, talent, and their culture can observe. Are we measuring AI risk or assuming it away, Rupa? What's your opinion?
That's a great question, Murat. And believe it or not, one of the most useful concept of AI risk management is nearly 2,000 years old. And the Stoic philosophers called it the premeditatio malorum. So it literally means before undertaking an important action, Stoics would deliberately imagine everything that could go wrong. So not to become pessimistic or fearful, but to become prepared. Now, imagine if every AI team adopted this mindset before launching a system. Instead of asking how well it performed, they would ask, how could it go wrong? What could fail? Who could be harmed? What assumptions are we making? Or what happens if those assumptions were wrong? And that's the essence of good risk management, and not reacting after the disaster, but thinking before the disaster. And risk is not a feeling, it is actually a mathematical concept. And at its simplest, risk score is equal to likelihood into impact. And many organizations also define risk as probability multiplied by consequence. So probability answers the question, how likely is this even to happen? And impact answers, if it happened, how bad this is going to be. And when we look at across the entire AI life cycle, which is why premeditation malorum should be applied throughout the life cycle, and at every stage, teams should pause and ask what could go wrong. And I would also, agree with Hemang about the multifaceted role and how different roles within an organization, they see risk with a different lens. So engineer worries about model performance, cybersecurity expert worries about adversarial attacks, and regulator worries about accountability, citizen worries about privacy, and CEO worries about reputation. So everyone is looking at the same AI system, yet everyone is seeing different risk. And none of them are wrong. They're simply looking through different lenses. And that is why effective AI risk management assessment requires multiple perspective. And yeah.
Very good. So,
Yeah.
Rupa, in the previous section, you talk about trustworthiness of AI. So there is a question coming from our participants. Maybe very quickly, if they want you to define what trustworthy is and how it can be regulated.
Trustworthy AI, how it can be regulated? Well, it's actually a very long answer. And what it means to be trustworthy for AI systems. How do we see trust? How do we establish trust within AI systems based on the short-term impact and the long-term impact? So what seems good today with the AI systems, um, but eventually after 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line, how the systems evolve as an adaptive nature of the AI systems, and so trustworthy at happens at different levels. Also, how AI is making decisions and how these decisions are being explained to the stakeholders involved. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
Very good.
So, Murat, if I may chime in, right?
Sure.
So,
Absolutely.
trustworthiness is really simple in my mind, right? What I say is this. If you say that you're going to do something and that's exactly what you do, that inspires trust in me. But if you do something different and if you deviate from the original intent, now I cannot trust you.
Mhm.
So let's look at it the same lens. So if AI systems are designed to do whatever that task or whatever that thing is it's supposed to be doing, and it starts deviating from that, then it's no longer trustworthy, right? So
Mhm.
that's how I view the trustworthiness.
Perfect. So, where is the biggest gap between AI ambition and AI readiness today? These are Hemang, the questions, both of you.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, oh, sorry, no, you carry on.
no, go ahead, Lisa. Lisa, please proceed.
Sure. For me, I see it fundamentally between those on the board and those on the ground floor in organizations, so to speak. I've had countless conversations with leaders in different organizations, and they'll say, we need AI. We want to adopt AI and we need it now. And I'll go back to them and say, but what business case are you looking AI to solve for you? And what I'll get back is, well, we don't know, but we just know that we need AI because everybody else has got it. But for me, the data quality, the skills, the governance, and the security controls underneath, they're just not there and they're not ready. So the biggest readiness gap of all for me is people. Organizations will get the technology and they'll forget to train and prepare the humans who have to use it, question it, and live with what it does and ultimately what it sometimes decides. So closing that gap is less about buying in more technology and solutions for AI and more about preparation.
Very good. Hemang, do you want to add? If you
Yeah,
know?
so what I'll say is this. So right now as a humanity, we're still kind of retrofitting because we now found this new technology, new tool. So we're just kind of retrofitting around what we have today. Now, if you look at it from board or C-level executive perspective, right now, as Lisa was pointing out, the race is to just go and adopt because somebody else is doing it, which is sometimes fair because we're still at the inception of the technology. But the true leaders will go and look the future very differently. If we are going to go and become AI native, the question should not be because somebody else is doing it, what should I be doing? The question should be what vision I want to achieve, if I were a C-level executive with the help of AI and my people. That's one thing. As a practitioner, people should be continuing to experiment and then kind of help technology become better. But if I look at this thing from higher view, from a humanity perspective, not just AI, but any technology which we create that should serve the humanity. If we want to become a species which lasts for not just millions of years, but billions of years on this planet, and then if we want to become multiplanetary species, we need to start figuring out how these technologies will help us achieve that vision, right? But bottom line, technology should be serving humanity. It is not just about, hey, let me just go implement because somebody else is doing it.
That's a great point, Hemang. My last question to all of you, very shortly. If you want to ask security leaders to make one concrete commitment to responsible AI today, what will that be?
So
Okay,
let
should I
me go
answer?
first.
Okay, sure. Please,
Sorry, let
Hemang.
me go first real quick. Sorry, Rupa. What I'll say is this, it just go back to that thought we had earlier, design and intent, right? And if we have the proper integrity, security, risk compliance, various other things will follow with that, right? And also Rupa made a great point earlier. Think about what could go wrong and ensure that is part of some of your design points.
Nice.
So I absolutely agree with Hemang, and this is my point as well. Though, so first to start with um, genuine intention, and well, no amount of technical prowess can help if the leaders do not have the genuine intention for the greatest good for humanity. So the first is genuine intention, and before policies, before the frameworks, before the regulations, audits, and technology, do we have the genuine intention to solve the right problem and for the betterment of humanity, as well as this era requires, I strongly believe that this era requires new kind of leadership, and not simply a leader who understand technology or who just understand the business, but a leader capable of balancing innovation, responsibility, human dignity, security, sustainability, and long-term societal well-being, and also the mindset of balancing uh, profit as well as the responsibility, and not just narrowly focused on the profit driven mindset, but to have a more balanced approach. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, I'll come in on this, Lee, now. So I would say find out what AI you actually have, including the tools that your people are quietly using without your oversight, because you can't govern, secure, or take responsibility for what you don't know and can't see. So start with an honest inventory of every AI system and shadow tool in your organization and decide what is acceptable, because everyone else in responsible AI, it's all built on top of that. Shadow AI is everywhere, and well-intentioned people can be using different non-sanctioned tools to get their work done quicker and faster, but often using it with sensitive data attached, which is a huge no-no. And you can't have a credible and responsible AI conversation until you know what's genuinely being used in your organization, sanctioned or not. So look at what shadow AI and tools that you've got within your organization for sure.
Good. Well, Rupa, Hemang, Lisa, I would like to personally thank you all for being part of Cyber Circle and sharing your valuable insights. And I look forward to continuing our conversation, our collaboration on other occasions.
Thank you so much, Murat. It had been a great honor as well as pleasure to contribute to this important discussion, and also sharing the panel with esteemed leaders, Hemang and Lisa and you, and absolutely an honor and privilege to be
Appreciate
here.
it.
Thank you.
Perfect. Take care all. Have a productive rest of the day.
You
Take
as well.
care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.